Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me again on my Virtual Open Studios Tour 2021. This time I'm presenting a selection of my work from my Varicolour series. I've divided it into two sections. Part 1, which are the pastel paintings mainly on paper, and Part 2, which are the more bold ones, which are mainly acrylic on canvas. Because the conversations at Open Studios are so important to me as an artist, which can't be done at the moment, obviously, as it's virtual, but your comments are appreciated. So in the spirit of Open Studios, if you should find any of these paintings of interest, do let me know your thoughts and ask questions. And you can let me know through my website, which is www.debbiealesartist.co.uk. In part 1 of my linear ones, I'm afraid I said my website address incorrectly, but hey ho, that's the right one. So we're going to start here with part 1. This is the pastel. The time span is about 2009 to 13, where the paintings are all acrylic on paper, some with ink. There is one exception, which is on canvas. I was creating this series of works continuing the theme of restoration, as there was a huge amount of new estates going on where I live, lots of building under construction and restoration work. The skeleton, or the carcass stage of the building, was always interesting. It made it look quite vulnerable and exposed, and I like to add that to it. So this one is the first one, which is called Restoration Project Norwich. And it was from the drawing I did for the painting that I put into Mandel's gallery exhibition of Turner to Modern Day Norwich. Move on to the second one, which is this one here. This one is Restoration Project Maribor. I was walking in Maribor with some friends and found this set of buildings under restoration. The corner angle was going to be a challenge, I could see that from the start, but I wanted to include the different architecture on the opposite side of the street as well. It was selected for the Royal Watercolour Society Open Exhibition in London, and also the King's Lynn Open, the Eastern Open, so you can see some of the details. Moving on to number 3. This is one of those buildings I was mentioning that is on one of the new estates. Sorry, the light's on it, which doesn't help, does it? It's called Blenheim Park, new construction. I thought the roof structure on this one was completely different and added a different kind of complexity. And also it's added to by the fact that it's got a very large fence in front of it, so everything looks a bit distorted and reduced to grids. These are all acrylic on paper. This one is number 4, and this one is called Waiting at the Bus Stop. Sorry about the light across the top. We've actually got sunshine again, rarity. And I was doing just that. I was waiting at the bus stop outside Liverpool Street Station in London. There used to be a number that would take you into the city, but they're all gone and the exit is now actually closed off. While I was waiting there, I was impressed by the reflections of the station in the glass of the building opposite, how it twisted and warped the structure. And this was the beginning of my interest in reflections in and by architecture. It was exhibited in the Forum in Norwich in one of their exhibitions there. And if you look really carefully, you can see people, but you have to use your imagination, as you can imagine. But it was, as I say, lots of reflections and made it even more mosaic. This one is number 5. And again, this is one I also did in my linear paintings. It is the same building in the High Street. It's on the bend of a river as well, so it's got a really interesting view from the back. This is the front view, which is on the bend of a road. I like the way that the building materials were sort of scattered all around the carcass of the building. This particular painting was selected for the Royal Institute of Painters in Watercolour exhibition in 2014. So it's shown in the Mall Galleries in London. And you can see the ladders, piles of wood, all sorts of things. It looks completely different now, needless to say. I'm going to jump number 7 because this one actually hasn't got any strings on the back, so I've propped it up on the table. This is the Mercury Theatre in Colchester, and at the present moment it is undergoing a multi-million-pound reconstruction, but this painting was made in 2013 when it was undergoing a slightly smaller reconstruction. I was attracted by the sight of scaffolding poles, I often am, and I thought I'd have a go at making this everyday occurrence as a sort of permanent record of the building work at the time. It was shown in the 2015 Harwich Festival. And this is number 7. Somebody actually sent me a photograph of a barn that they were interested in that belonged to a family member. And this particular painting was selected for the Royal Watercolour Society 21st Century Watercolour Exhibition in London in 2009. Yes, they sent me a lot of photographs of a barn just before it was converted into 3 properties. I think it was 3. So. And number 8 is the last one. I was visiting some friends in London and they were having a roof conversion made of their property. And needless to say, saw scaffolding, was interested. This one was exhibited in the Highgate Gallery in London. And you can see people walking into the front door. They did complete the project. And that's the last one for the minute. So just in case you need to know again, that is my website address. Done correctly this time, I hope. Thank you very much. I'll be doing part 2 shortly.